Historic Dodge City, Kansas was the site of the opening rounds of the 2013 Traxxas Torc Off-Road Championship season. And there was danger aplenty for superstar Rob McCachran, who suffered a vicious fire during the first night of competition, the first in his long and storied career. But fortunately, he escaped without injury. The following night, quite a different story, as Rob Mack bounced back to score a satisfying Pro 2 victory in front of the speed cameras. The night was also memorable for the Wisconsin-based Greaves family, as 17-year-old CJ won in Pro Lights. And after making a bold move for the lead, his father Johnny went on to capture the checkers in Pro 4. Tonight, the Torc Series is deep in the heart of Western Ohio at legendary Eldora Speedway, the scene of so many big races through the years. A place that has helped launch the careers of some of the greatest racers ever, such as Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Tony Stewart, and Jeff Gordon. History will be made as off-road's finest take center stage at one of the world's greatest dirt tracks for the first time in its 60 years of operation. Torc at Eldora. 2 hours of non-stop action. Next on Speed. The Big E Eldora Speedway ready to make history once again tonight with off-road trucks. But the weather yesterday had us all wondering if we would get it in. This place was turned into the big swamp. The high banks have finally started to dry out. The Traxxas Torc Off-Road Championship Series presented by Amsoil, ready to go racing in Rossburg, Ohio. It's the Eldora Off-Road Extreme. Hi everybody, Ralph Shaheen alongside Dorsey Schrader, and I've come to a lot of races at this high-banked half mile, but I never thought, Dorsey, I'd see off-road trucks here.
It's amazing. A couple of firsts here. It's the first time the Torc Series has raced at Eldora, but it's also the first time an off-road truck series has raced on a half-mile dirt oval.
And with all of that rain and those swampy conditions, we've had no practice, no qualifying. The first time the racers are going to see these high banks and the jumps they've built here is going to be when we go green.
That's going to be wild. Not a single truck has made a lap around this racetrack. The only thing that's been out there at all has been the four-wheelers to try to pack in the top dirt, if you will. So this is flying blind. It's like coming to a racetrack you've never seen and dropping a green flag.
And it has really got a lot of guys stressed out over it. Of course, the dirt here is legendary, some of the best, but they have brought in 150 truckloads of dirt, some 3,500 yards to add on top of this very famous soil to go racing. Bobby, Gerald, you've seen a lot of races here just like me. This dirt is so sacred, and now we've got all this on top of it. How's it going to play out tonight?
It is really an unknown, Ralph. It's unbelievable to think that without any practice, without any time trials, these guys are going to come out here. And we're talking about a group of drivers in the Torc Series that have never been in competition at Eldora Speedway. So there's a lot of anxiety in the pits. Let's show you just how soft this new dirt is. Where they've brought in the new dirt, you can see the tractor tires, how far down they've dug into the racing surface, and we don't know how that's going to affect the trucks. It's going to be soupy and sloppy here where they've added the new sections of dirt. The rest of the racetrack, though, looks like it's going to be in pretty good shape. So the track is just one of the obstacles that these drivers are facing here tonight. For more, let's go to Kelly Snyder.
Well, thanks, Bobby. For some of the drivers in this series, racing is a part-time passion, but that is not the case for 30-year veteran Rob McCachran. Rob's running in 5 different series in 7 different trucks, so his physical and mental endurance is really being tested now more than ever. He talked about this track being extremely hard to make passes on, and it's really going to be a battle of the drivers angling with the jumps and angling their trucks into these turns. That's what's going to be the difficult part for these guys, but their physical and mental endurance is really what's worn down. Rob plans to run more than 75 green flag starts this year alone in all the different series he runs, so he is definitely going to be the one who's out here to win with all the experience, but he's also extremely tired. He's learned to expect the unexpected in racing, and on this untested track, that's exactly what these drivers are about to face.
All right, Kelly, thanks. As you can see, the dirt here is actually starting to dry out. And I got to tell you, folks, when we got here at 1 o'clock today for our production meeting, I would have bet you everything that's in my wallet, which is not nearly as much as is in Dorsey's, that we weren't going to go racing today. But you know what? We're going to do it. Who needs qualifying? Who needs practice? We're going to stuff a few hundred horsepower under the bonnet of these things and go racing. As soon as we drop the flag, when we come back to Eldora. Stay with us. It's going to be a wild night here on Speed. To show you some highlights from the pro buggies, and Rick Johnson joins us in the booth, and I know this is going to go a way that you really like, RJ.
Yeah, it is. Andy Zipperer took off. I mean, he was gone. He's ran the buggies last year, and my son Luke was out there, struggled a little bit at the beginning, but then Andy, you see, got a little loose into the wall, but then he started running down low.
Zipperer had problems, and here comes Luke Johnson.
Luke working the upper lane, gets a better run off that corner, and just takes that momentum right around.
Yeah, it was the double jumps that made the difference. And, you know, I'm really proud of Luke. He put this deal together with Lenmar, Undead Power, and Peak Antifreeze. Great job.
And the first checkered flag, off-road style, in the history of Eldora Speedway goes to Luke Johnson. You saw Proud Papa. There's happy mom, Stephanie. Big, big day for the Johnson family. We'll see if the old man can get one a little later on here tonight. There are the official results. The first off-road race in the history of Eldora in the books. Luke Johnson's the winner. Andy Zipperer is second, and they're both standing by with Kelly Snyder.
Guys, what a buggy race that was. Luke Johnson, first time in a pro buggy here. Torc season opener with those pro buggies. You're taking the win, but a veteran here in the class, leading almost 20 seconds on the field and made a mistake out here on the wall. What a race. We'll start with you. Congratulations on that first win.
Thank you. Yeah, I got off to a little bit of a rough start. I was back in fifth, so I had to try to, work my way around these guys. I'm used to having doors to go banging with guys, so I had to be careful with these tires sticking out there. And Andy got to start up on the front row and got some clean air, and he didn't make it easy trying to catch him. So when I was coming up to him, all of a sudden I saw him smack the wall. It was like I was just going off the jump. So it was an early race, but I mean, this has been an adventure for me. 40 hours straight driving from California. I can't thank my crew guy Nick enough. Two of us drove here, and Peak, Undead Power, Red Bull. Everyone's been so helpful and instrumental in getting me here. I'm so happy. This trip has been well worth it.
Well, congratulations. Let's talk to Andy real quick. Andy, what a race that was for you, leading these guys, leading the pack, but he capitalized on that mistake he made up front. At least you guys got a race in. It's starting to get a little dark and rainy out here.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I didn't have radio since the second lap, so I didn't know how hard I had to go. I did know where I was, and got a little squirrely there, and I hit the wall, and Luke took advantage of it like he should, and here we are. It was a lot of fun. It was an awful lot of fun. It was worth the wait all through yesterday and today for the track to dry out.
Well, congratulations to both Luke Johnson and Andy Zipperer on a great pro buggy race.
Ricky, as you can see, rain has started to fall here at Eldora. Did you learn anything from watching that race to maybe help you, since you haven't been on the track at all?
Oh, most definitely. What a lot of people don't know is our practice, our qualifying, everything got rained out. But sometimes you have to do that, so we wanted to make sure that we put on a show here at Eldora. We actually cruised around in our UTVs to get the track packed in. But after watching Luke, he really made some charges down the back straightaway. As you see, the storm came in.
That was amazing.
This is not a real truck, obviously.
It's the biggest wreck of the weekend so far.
Yeah, by far. That's the Traxxas inflatable from the infield. Got loose, and off it went, and it was just hilarious when it did that. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, but the balloon has been deflated.
Definitely. But with the pro lights coming up next, I'm looking at the track. We got a lot of rain, but the track is going to come in really good. The guys here at Eldora, first class. Let's go racing.
Well, you can see we've got some sunlight off in the distance. It was pitch black here just a minute ago. Hopefully the rain is done, and we'll be racing again here at Eldora. Pro lights coming up here on Speed. Here's a look at the weather. As you can see, we've got some bright skies just over turn number 4. Temperature is dropping quickly, though. 46 degrees, about 60% humidity. Wind blowing about 17 miles an hour. And definitely still a lot of clouds in the area. So the pro lights are up next, Ricky.
Well, you got a custom-built two-wheel drive truck here. They all have sealed crate motors. That horsepower is up to about 500. Minimum weight, 3,000 pounds with driver. But the tell is the 12 to 14 inches of suspension travel, Ricky. That's not much.
Definitely. There's two things. These things have crate motors, a lot of torque, a lot of power, but not a big tire, Dorsey. You know, Ralph, these guys are going to be coming around. They don't have a lot of suspension, so the doubles on the back straightaways, the guy that can clear that is going to be the guy that runs away.
Well, we saw the highlights out of the buggy race, and we saw Luke dealing with that. The track at some points was actually dry, blowing dust. Now we've had rain, and it's going to change this thing all over again.
Well, the thing is, though, the Eldora surface, this is the holy grail. You build it and they will come, and they did a long time ago. So the bank is going to be fine. It's going to tack up really fast, but it's those jumps that are sitting out there are filling up like a sponge.
These trucks have OEM tires. In other words, those are the same type of tire you would buy on a street truck.
Yes.
You know, so they're limited. They don't have big tires. They don't have big horsepower, and they don't have a lot of suspension travel. So they're really got to run within the limits of that truck.
Exactly. So what these guys got to do, this is the first time they're seeing the track. They have to see how it feels. But remember, we talked about this in the pit, Dorsey, the weight. Sometimes you can put on 300, 400, 500 pounds onto these trucks, and that completely throws your suspension setup in the garbage.
Yeah, that's the mud weight. That mud gets stuck underneath the truck, and they add 400 or 500 pounds of weight, and that's going to take your suspension travel away just from the weight itself, not even going off the jump.
The reigning champion from 2012, Brad Lovell. You get a good look at him as he checks things out in his AMSOIL-backed machine.
Brad Lovell's one of those guys that's multifaceted. He runs King of the Hammers. He's a rock crawling champion, and now he's a Torc. He's the defending Torc Pro Light champion, so he's definitely the man to watch.
CJ Greaves.
The man, you know, CJ doing double duty here. He's running Pro 2 and Pro Light. Always a standout guy, and he comes from a great racing heritage. My great competitor, Johnny Greaves. So CJ is one of the guys that is always up front.
And he's got momentum coming off Dodge City, where he had a first and second place running in the two categories with the truck. So right now, CJ Greaves on fire.
And then Keegan Kincaid.
Keegan Kincaid, another prodigy, the son of Jeff Kincaid. Keegan's been one of those guys that's got fastest lap. He's been on the podium multiple times. We're looking for a breakout win, and maybe here, this oval in Eldora might be the place.
Let's show you the starting grid. Now, this is all going based on points.
Yep, we're going on points, and we're inverting the top six. So what we got is Randy Eller's 6th in points, and then on down.
Yep. And normally you would have qualified and then inverted. Tonight we're just going because there was no practice or qualifying. We're just taking the points the way they are and inverting them that way. There's the second page of them all the way down to Travis Dinsmore in 14th. This is scheduled for 25 laps. They got a couple of quick laps of look at the track. Then we'll take a lap or so here behind the pace track. There will be a competition caution halfway through. Caution laps do not count.
Now let's see what happens. This will be the first lap for these guys on this racetrack. And is it slippery? Look at the pace truck almost spun.
Yeah, and you got to understand that that's a four-wheel drive Nissan out there trying to roll around. So the worst thing you can do is go slow. You got to have momentum or you're going to fall off of this bank. So good luck, guys. Positive note, Ralph, is that we talked to Roger Slack, and he said this is the shortest rain delay that they've ever had at Eldora. So the off-road guys know how to get dirty. You know, Roger Slack was looking at me, telling me, do not mess up my track, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, in off-road, if we can get a safety truck to the drivers, we are going to race rain or shine. So safety first, and then we're going for the show.
Roger's always promoting. He's always finding something that Eldora has done that hasn't been done anywhere else before. You were speaking about the banking here. The turns are 24 degrees, but you know you never get a break around this place. The half mile is banked all the way around. The straightaways are 8 degrees.
Oh, and look at the back. You can see what you're talking about, Ricky. They don't have enough speed to stay on the banking, and they're sliding all over the place.
Wow, that's a big boom.
Yeah, that was a pyro off the backstretch. I don't know if you got to see it or not, folks, but we felt it up here.
If you get a chance to look close, you can see the grooves. They don't look like much, but those grooves are probably about 10 to 15 inches deep, so that's going to really bite the truck and try to stop it as if it doesn't clear that double.
All right, you ready? Coming to the green.
No choice.
Here we go. There's our starter, ready to drop the flag, and we're going to go racing here at Eldora. Underway.
Randy Eller with the jump. He looks like he's working his way up, but staying low.
Everybody fighting for some territory through 1 and 2. What are these trucks going to do as we go over the big jumps on the back straightaway?
So far, everybody pretty clean.
Eller in the 11 has issues and is dropping back in a hurry.
Yeah, that was Eller in the 11, and I think something broke at the end of the jump. And he's coming coasting to a stop behind all these guys.
Clement leads it out front in the 42. Baumgartner running in second. Greaves has third.
He's looking low, but he's not getting a run on a Baumgartner with a little bit of run. See if he goes for the double. He does. Cases it a little bit. But I have to say, these pro lights are sucking it up pretty good.
Full course caution. Full course caution.
That's Eller.
Because the 11 of Eller came to a stop on the entrance to turn number 3.
He came off those jumps on the back, and something mid-jump broke. It looks like the left rear might be up in the wheel well a little bit too far.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
You never know. He might have broke a shock, could have broke a trailing arm. As I said, even cruising around, you're stacking weight to these vehicles, and when they come down, you're probably going to pull about 3 to 4 Gs. And so with that being said, something is definitely broken in the back of his truck.
And RJ, when you talk about stacking weight, talking with you and some of the others out there, the amount of mud that one of these trucks can pick up is staggering. We're talking hundreds of pounds.
Yes, for sure. I'm going to guarantee that when these pro lights are done, they're probably going to be anywhere from 400 to 600 pounds heavier, and that's almost, that's a ton of weight.
They weighed your four-wheel drive truck one time, and it was over 1,000 pounds. They had half a ton of mud.
Yes.
Watch the 11 truck here, guys. That's the white one out front.
Eller gets a hole shot, comes down. Looks like everything is going good. It looks like it's packing up still just a little bit right there as he comes around the sweeper, and then it's down the next straightaway where everything goes bad.
Almost just like something snapped, and it was just no drive. Look at the ride height on the right rear. You know something's broke back there.
He might have broke a trailing arm or a spring carrier. You can see the trailing arm is in place. It's not dragging or anything, so something happened with the shocks.
They tend to sag, but not like that.
Not like that. And Randy's a veteran. He's been around for a long time, so he knows when his truck is wrong.
When you're talking about 600 plus pounds of mud caked up in these things after, that's a lot of quarters at the car wash when you're done racing tonight.
You ain't kidding.
I had that thought. How would you clean something like this up when you went home?
Slowly.
You find dirt for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
trust me.
Right. Good thing is you're going to another dirt track. 1 to go. I cannot believe that's blue sky up over the head of our starter here. I'm telling you, folks, if you were here throughout the course of the day, man, it looked like this was not going to happen, but yet here we are.
And look at them snaking around on the grooves.
Forget about reading numbers or paint schemes here tonight. Your guess is going to be as good as ours in a couple of laps.
We can't even say the red truck's winning anymore.
No, the muddy truck is. There's some body work. Loving it. That's what we expected to see here tonight. That's the one right there, Brad Lovell.
Reigning champion, #1 plate. We can see it still, but not for long, I bet.
The 13, we're told, of Travis Dinsmore is also headed to the back, to the pit area. Looks like they're looking at the back end of this one. Maybe suspension they're checking out there too, Ricky.
I think some of the guys are going to go, it's running on the bump stop, something's broke. It's like, nope, it's just really heavy right now. You basically got a buddy riding piggyback with you, spread out throughout your whole truck. So that's the problem with Travis.
Dinsmore towed all the way down from Canada. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, guys, we're looking at the back of this number 13 truck for Travis Dinsmore.
Bobby, he'll update us as soon as he can. It looks like we're getting ready to go. Green.
Looks like a little mud devil popped in the screen there.
There we go. Check.
CJ Greaves making a move on the inside, gets by Baumgartner. Now he's going after Kleeman. He does a little slide job, and now we got Brad Lovell making a move on the outside.
Yeah, Lovell lost the body work that was flapping around. Greaves has that Monster M logo on his truck, and you can pick that up through all the mud. Here he comes on the outside, making a run for second place with Baumgartner.
Gets it done on the top. He's been working the bottom, but this time finds grip on that upper lane.
All of that fighting back there over seconds allowed Kleeman to scoot out front. He's got about a 1.5 second lead now.
I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how confident Kleeman's driving. He's just charging as hard as he can. A lot of guys aren't hitting the jumps quite as hard as him.
Here comes Rafael Navarro as well in the #9. That's that red truck, and he goes right into the back of Baumgartner. Now he dives to the bottom. him, trying to set him up on the inside as they head into 3.
Raphael's had a lot of engine troubles over the last few races. They've been plagued by engine blowups. The last one caused because the radiator got clogged up and it overheated the engine.
Oh, now he clobbers the outside wall.
Into the wall pretty hard. Raphael doing a lot of driving in other forms as he goes to the wall again. I'm gonna tell you that he probably can't see. He was trying to reach for a tear off and just misjudged that and washed out to the wall.
That's Keegan Kincaid right behind him in the Traxxas back number 7, pounding his way up under the inside.
Working on his quarter pan a little bit right there. I was talking about that radiator being up in the front. That hit he gave to the back of the other truck didn't help that situation.
No, the radiator's actually in the back, Dorsey. The radiator's up front. It looks like there's a radiator there, but everything is in the back. But it still gets clogged. It's clogged. So much mud comes through there. I got 40 tear-offs waiting for my race. So, you know, you got to be ready, and you just get roosted so bad, but these things overheat.
And that's exactly why you put those things in the rear, to try to get him as far out of the muck and the mire as you can. Look at Kincaid just hammering over those jumps on the back straightaway. Watch the 9 here, Navarro. He's going to go way wide.
Had a lot of wheel in the truck when it landed. It took off on him, pushed out into the wall, hit the wall there, but that wasn't the only time.
Well, one of the things interesting about running here at Eldora with this series is as you come off of that banking, you're taking to that jump at an angle. So if you're not anticipating where the truck's going to go, once you commit to the jump, it's on its own.
See, and if you ran a traditional sprint car line here at Eldora, you would hit that jump and fly into the stands. So we have to run a little bit different arc because you don't want to hit it right next to the wall because you'll fly right out of the park.
Here's your leader, Kleeman, out front. He's got a 1.7-second lead, now 2.5 over CJ Greaves. We're coming right back to Eldora for more Torque after this. Jack.
Peek antifreeze.
The top spot here. Coming up on the outside is that Traxxas number 7 of Keegan Kincaid, making a bid for the lead as he gets up along the wall here in turns 1 and 2.
Keegan's using this outside to get a run, and then he clears the jump, so he carries a lot more momentum down that back straightaway. We were talking about that earlier. Whoever figures that out is going to be hard to beat.
Well, guess what? He's got the lead now.
He actually made that double, made up a huge amount of ground on the last lap. Now has the lead and is working that upper groove.
And if Kleeman doesn't move up in a hurry, he's going to lose second as well because Baumgartner, and we got one stuck. That's Colby Eller in the 10.
He's backed in. I don't think he can pull out of that.
No, that's probably going to bring out a yellow. That's just at the entrance going into turn 1.
He's down in a ditch that was down there. Take a look here.
There he comes.
Just gets a little bit loose, takes it around, can't quite get a hold of it, and into the wall. Softly.
Yeah, then he tried to drive out of that, and it's going to get stuck. And it's just like black ice at that point.
Well, that's the catch.
Yeah.
All of that rain had to go down, and that's where it ends up.
Yeah, all that water had to go somewhere.
And he works his way out.
Back to the front we go. This is the battle over second place. As Kincaid continues to lead, this fight back here is for second. Baumgartner and Kleeman. Kleeman holds down second right now, that yellow 42.
Definitely looks like the upper groove is the way to go right now. Everybody working low is not getting enough forward bike to get off those corners.
And the other thing is where you see Keegan running up right against the wall.
Almost a lawn dart.
Man, Kleeman really pushing the extreme level right there. The driver out of Michigan.
He got the jump timing wrong and kicked the back end up. Almost dug the nose in.
And that Ford is pushing hard to get back up to the front here as Kleeman tries to reel in Kincaid.
And Baumgartner pretty much all over his back, but sometimes, Dorsey, you know this, but in mud it's really bad. Is sometimes you find yourself following another driver, and that's what seemed to happen. So here's our defending champion, Brad Lovell, for some reason is up against the wall on the inside.
And that's going to give us a full course caution, and with the red coming out, that means that this will be the competition yellow. Competition caution to bring everybody around. packed the field back up.
I love this thing. I hated it when Jim Baldwin came up with this idea, but he said, I don't want to run away, I want to race. And now, I wish Supercross had it. I wish everybody had it, so that if you get a bad start or something bad happens, it gives you a second shot. But also here in the Torc series, if you are leading, you get 2 points. So there's motivation for you to be up front and try to lead at that halfway, so you don't just lag back and wait till the end of the race. And right now, here you don't want to lag back because you're just going to eat too much mud.
Well, it looks like he's done a good job. We're at the halfway point. He's got half a truck left.
Half and half.
Well, we're going to give those points that Ricky was talking about to Keegan Kincaid for leading. He had a 2.6-second lead as the yellow and the red came out. Watch Kleeman really get that nose.
He doesn't quite clear this jump, and then he second guesses himself, comes up short, and then bounces hard, doesn't clear that double, almost gets a hold of the nose, but does a great job, gets it back under control. See, that's the equivalent of doing, Dorsey, you can tell us, doing a donut at 200 miles an hour, gathering it back up and not hitting anything.
Yeah, luck. You talking about luck? Yeah, I mean, he almost did plant the nose, which would have put him over. But that save after that point, you keep going with it.
Yeah, he did a great job showing he has some composure and not just freak out and hit the brakes. Or because if you hit the brakes on this stuff, whichever way the truck's going, it's going to run into the wall. And that's the way it's going to go.
I like this as well, Ricky, that you can now regroup yourself, you get yourself, figure out what you just learned in the first half and go to work for the second.
Well, the track right now is getting so much better. We watched Keegan Kincaid run up top and get that upper cushion working, and actually it was the fastest way around the track. So the traditional Eldora line is now the fast way around.
See if it stays that way.
If we don't get any more rain, I definitely think it will.
There's Dinsmore, who came out earlier and didn't run all that many laps, and look how much mud is caked on him.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah, guys, we're told that for Dinsmore, it was a broken shock on the left rear. It blew the top out of the shock. So that's the problem for
Bobby,
Dinsmore.
Apparently, we're having technical difficulties with Bobby's stuff again. He was on that story with Dinsmore, and I'm sure was probably trying to tell us about all the mud that was on that helmet.
Well, Keegan Kincaid will want to stay where he's at, get his first win possible.
Here we go again, back to green.
And Keegan is out in front. He's got a lapper in between him and Kleeman, so this could be a big break for Keegan Kincaid.
Goes right to the top where you were talking about, Ricky. It's a good way around here. Seems to be the right group for speed.
See, when he gets out there, the jumps aren't as big on the outside, so when he cases it, it doesn't bite him as hard. Right there, you see that jump hits you pretty hard. Looking at Nick Bumgarner, he's running down low. These guys are trying, they're going to where it's a lot tackier, but Keegan's like, just let the truck go. So I'm really proud of Keegan doing an awesome job developing his line and not just looking where it's dry.
Bumgarner in that Loctite back forward. There's Greaves.
Watching CJ right now, I'm gonna anticipate that he's having trouble seeing. He's probably ran through his tear-offs, and he can't see very well, so his judgment is off and he can't see.
Okay, so based on that, you told us you had 40 ready to go. You saw Dinsmore's helmet after about 5 laps. You're gonna go back and put another 40 on top of that 40?
Yeah, no, I can't see when we got 40. We're gonna run down to 30 laps, and so what I gotta do is just get out in front. A little motivation there, Ralph, so stay out there. Don't follow people.
How heavy is that stuff when it clocks you in the head? I mean, it's a lot of weight.
It starts to stack up. It's like putting about a 10 or 15 pound weight on your head, so it does beat you around a little bit. But Safety Solutions gives us some great neck braces and rolls and stuff like that. So when we do G out and bottom out like that, it catches our helmet. It doesn't want to snap our necks.
Look at CJ just bearing that foot in the throttle. Nice slide all the way through the corner.
Yeah, now CJ's struggling a little bit here, but it's going to help him for the Pro 2. He knows what the dirt's like. He knows what the lines are like. And that's Doug Matag that's stuck up on the outside. So I don't know if he's overheating or what. We've seen some flames where she's trying to refire it, but it just doesn't seem to go.
Yeah, the Ethica back Dodge not moving right now. We'll see if that brings out a full course caution or not. We're still going as you see our MagnaFlow. There's the full course caution coming up, the MagnaFlow running order across the top of the screen. So we're back to full course caution with 9 to go. Remember, caution laps do not count.
They held that caution as long as they could because they saw him over there trying to refire that engine. They saw the flame coming out. That means he's cranking the motor over. It's got gas unburned. It's popping. They wanted him to be able to get going under his own, but when he couldn't, finally
Oh, and it's running.
There it goes, and we're back underway with him. So while they get the field line back up, we'll take care of some business on our own end over here, and we'll be right back for more at Eldora with Torc. And all the muck and mire is a winner. Keegan Kincaid has himself a checker flag, and let's head down there to victory lane, Kelly.
Thanks, guys. A first win for Keegan Kincaid here in the Torc Series. I know he's got to be so excited. His dad, Jeff, jumping in to congratulate him. Going to be racing in the Pro 2 race coming up. Keegan, how exciting is this race to finally get that first place? You've been on the podium so many times, and you've taken so many tracks as max laps, but now you're finally on the top of the box.
Oh, man, I don't, words can't even explain right now. It feels like I had a huge weight on my back until I crossed that finish line, and you know, I can't thank my sponsors enough. Traxxas, Maxxis, Amsoil, anybody, my team, my dad, you know, everybody it made me able to get out here. You know, I just can't thank them enough, and I'm ecstatic right now.
Well, guys, he truly figured out the track early and took the lead. Congratulations to Keegan Kincaid on his first Pro Light race here at Eldora.
Yeah, he's going to pick up another $1,000 too. He got another Traxxas max lap at 29.496. That was the fastest one of that race, so an extra $1,000 to celebrate with.
It never hurts. You know, Mike Jenkins and Traxxas have carried this series and done a great job. And so they put up the max lap for the guys and give them a little bit extra cash. So well deserved for Keegan Kincaid.
Let's check in with Bobby.
And here is Nick Baumgartner, second place finish. How's this feel? And Ricky Johnson was up there saying that he felt like maybe your experience in the stadium trucks is helping you here on the short course.
Absolutely. I come in here and I didn't have any experience a couple years ago, and now I'm getting double the seat time, double the fun, and I'm out there and I can feel it happening. I got a little more confidence in what's going on, and believe it or not, me, Baumgartner, is thinking a lot smarter.
Right on, man. Great celebration, too. I can tell this means a lot to you.
Yeah, I didn't care if I took second. I was doing a burnout with my Loctite Cooper tire. Number 12, baby. Amsoil, Replay, everyone that helps me out. We're so stoked, and I'll tell you what, my team is awesome. I'm a lucky man. I'm from a small town, Iron River, in the UP, and I get to do this stuff. It is so cool.
Kelly?
Thanks, guys. Standing here with Mark Kleiman. Mark, this is your first season racing with the Torc Series in these Pro Light trucks, and you finished third. You really put a good battle up there for the other two contenders in first and second.
Yeah, it was a great race. We had to come back after that little postponement with the rain, and we had water that ran down between my lenses, so I was really battling the sun coming around the corners. I actually tore them all off about halfway through the race and lifted the shield up and ate a rock right in the eye here. I'm pretty sure she's going to be black.
Oh my gosh, well, what a great race for you. Anyone you'd like to thank quickly?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank these Kenda tires. We went out to Dodge City and had no tires to run. They stepped on board, gave us a set of tires, and these things are awesome. I'd like to thank my wife, my family, Cody, Kyle, and Kendra, all my crew, Derek, Logan, Larry, Brian. Without these guys, I couldn't do it. Bandit Industries, everybody is just fantastic, and I really love it.
Well, a great Pro Light race. Congrats to Mark Kleiman on his third place finish.
Cut me, Mick, would be the line if you remember the movie Rocky, right?
Black eye coming, no doubt about it.
Well, man, RJ's just shaking his head over here. He knows what's in store when he gets out there. We got more racing for you. Pro 2, Pro 4, it's all coming your way here tonight on Speed. The next stop on the tour, make sure you get your tickets and come out and join us there. Bark River International Raceway, Bark River, Michigan. That's going to be Saturday, June 15th and 16th, Ricky.
I'm telling you, this is one of the craziest tracks. It's one of the highest speed tracks. We've got a lot of air. And, you know, really, it's like an old school motocross route. It's like a Unadilla of the Torc Series. So you get a lot of roost, a lot of bumps, a lot of ruts, but awesome racing. So if you're anywhere near the UP, come check it out.
And, of course, if you can't get there, join us Saturday, June 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Speed, which you can see all the great action in the Traxxas Torc Series. Amsoil Pro 2s. about these trucks here, Dorsey?
Well, if you like what you saw before, you're going to like it twice as much as we got the big boys coming out here. Two-wheel drive trucks, custom built. But look at the horsepower. 700 plus to 900 horsepower, 3,750 pounds. But these have 18 to 20 inches suspension travel. They can handle this horsepower around here. What was going to make the difference is that driver behind that throttle.
Definitely, Dorsey. We talked about it a lot when we were racing in the rain and stuff like that. And I remember when Bill Cooper taught me, drive like you have an egg under your foot. You can't push it too hard, and you can't let off too hard.
There's Rob McCachran's number 21.
Now, Rob, I mean, Dorsey, this guy is like you in the 80s. He's racing everything. He's racing desert. He's racing stadium trucks. And he's racing Pro 2 and Pro 4. And remember, in Pro 4, the fire in Dodge City, unbelievable.
One of the scariest moments we've seen in a long time, not the rollover so much, but as it was getting turned back over, there was fuel leak, and that ignites right here in a big way. And unfortunately, some of that fuel got onto the legs of Rob McCachran's driver's suit. He bails, which everybody would, but is truly on fire. Now, these safety guys were right on the spot. They put him out, and luckily, no burns sustained in that.
No burns, no blisters. He had his safety, his Nomax underwear on. It was awesome. It's great to see a competitor go through something like that and walk away.
Then he went out and won the race the next night.
Exactly.
Shows what happens if you wear the right stuff, right?
Yeah, and he was at the driver's meeting telling everybody, I'm telling you, wear it in every session. Put your gloves on, put your balaclava on. He goes, I don't normally wear mine, but it was so dusty down there. He put that on just for the dust. It saved his face.
And he wore the underwear because it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold there, yeah.
There's our AMSOIL starting grid. Again, remember, normally this would be lined up based on qualifying and they would invert the field. Well, we're not doing that here, so it's based on points, and then the field is inverted. There's Bryce Menzies in a Red Bull Ford, starting 5th.
Someone who I'm familiar with, my teammate, and twice the defending Pro 2 champion. You know, I'm really proud of this guy. I've got to work with him, mentor him a little bit because he is just such a great talent. Anything I tell him, he just, yeah, Rick, got it. And then he works it out, and he's one heck of a driver.
There's old 5-times brother, Jarrett Johnson. That's Jimmy Johnson's brother. Now, I was talking to their dad, Gary, who is here. They started this truck out back at the race shop in Mooresville earlier this week, drove it about a block, turned it around, put it in a rig. Those are the first laps, Bobby Gerald, Jarrett Johnson has had behind the wheel of this thing right now.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody is more anxious than Jarrett Johnson, but I'll tell you one thing we learned, and that is that they've got a hitter of an engine in there. They have Hendrick Motorsports horsepower. Matter of fact, it's a Cup engine that's in this truck. The last time that this engine was in use was at Sonoma a couple years ago in Jeff Gordon's number 24. So we'll see how it takes to the Eldora High Banks here. Jarrett Johnson, no qualifying, no practice, first Torc race of the year. This guy is really anxious right now.
Yeah, that should put him in the 800-plus category as far as horsepower.
Yeah, comfortably. Yeah, with room to spare. There's Matt Cook in the Ethica truck.
Matt Cook has done a great job. He was a rookie last year. When it came to Pro Light, he said, you know what? I want to step up to the big boys. I got the money. I got the sponsors. He's got Ethica. He's got Supercross.com. He's got some other people on board. So, you know, he's definitely one of the guys that puts on a show.
Jeff Kincaid's in the field as well.
Jeff Kincaid starting in the back because he did not run at Dodge City, but he is not going to stay there. Jeff Kincaid, one of the winningest drivers in short course. He dominated Pro Light for so many years, and anytime his vehicle is still running in Pro 2, he's one of the guys up front.
His problem is going to be visibility, of course, because he's starting at the back of this pack, and he's going to eat a lot of mud before he gets where he wants to go.
And, of course, we saw Keegan get a win just a few minutes ago. Now Pops' turn. Oh, problems for Jarrett Johnson.
Heard he might have a fire, guys. In fact, we heard over the radio that there could be some fire under the hood of this. And see a little smoke coming out of the right side.
Well, everything is concealed in there, so it's really hard. So they have a little panel that where you can, if there's an oil fire or something like that, they can get, you know, get the fire extinguisher in by the motor. So such a tough break for Jarrett. He worked so hard to get here.
Yeah, that's a
I hate
bad.
to see that.
Bad deal. So I think it's still going in there,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're getting it out.
Probably an oil line or something like that that got off and caught fire, and something's feeding it.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
What's great to see on there is Herzog Construction. That was those are the people that picked up Jimmy. I also got to race for them in '98 here in the Core Series. But here, let's in slow-mo. Let's watch some fire come out of the number 74 of Jarrett Johnson.
I thought that was a backfire. I actually saw that
there it
live.
is.
There's down there by the drive shaft, it looks like.
I think it's what you said, Dorsey. I think it's a loose oil line. The header sparked it,
Yep.
and then that's where the fire is.
What a tough break. Well, Jarrett is struggling to get going here, but you know, the Johnson family, boy, they're desert rats all the way through and through. And as Jimmy will tell you, growing up in the desert is what they were all about.
The thing about, you know, off-road truck racing to me has always been the control you need to have with the vehicle. You're on the edge. I mean, you're leaving the ground, you got ruts to worry about, mud, dry slick, you know, so many variables to deal with. You've got to have a very well-rounded skill set, you know, to be in one of these things. Because if you go out there and just cruise around, you're going to get smoked. You know, you got to be up on the wheel and go. Might sound weird, but I actually think it's helped me go into the Cup. To me, it's just exciting.
Back in the day when Jimmy was driving in the old Mickey Thompson series, I used to do the play-by-play of a lot of those, and got to watch Jimmy come up through the ranks with his dad, Gary, crewing that.
Yeah, Jimmy, I've known Jimmy since he was born, believe it or not. Gary was my mechanic when I was 10 years old, when Jimmy was born, and we were teammates on that Nelson & Nelson team. And you watch Jimmy, he didn't do so well in Busch Grand National back then because he didn't have the horsepower. But then you put the big horsepower, the Cup motors, he started sliding, and he was comfortable with that because in stadium truck racing and stuff, a lot of times you'll flip and keep going, so you never give up on a slide.
And this will teach you how to drive a vehicle that has more power that can be used. It actually has too much horsepower. You can't just floor it. You have to feed that throttle in and feel those rear tires get grip. And you have to drive it off the corner and not let the front end push out to the wall because the back end is pushing the front end forward.
Because it's a lock rear end and wants to drive straight.
I remember one night at the Tacoma Dome, Jimmy went nose first into the old ultralights, hit in nose first, flipped it over and won, did the old flip and win.
Yep.
And when he got out of it, didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
And Gary said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I don't even know who you are." And he said, "You better come back over here."
We've been there.
Yeah. 30 laps is what we're going to do here. Don't forget we got a competition caution coming about halfway through this one. Caution laps aren't going to count. Here comes the horsepower. Eldora, hang on.
Got C.J. Greaves on the pole.
Here we go. Foot into it. Green flag waving. Greaves into the early lead.
A couple trucks got together and one landed on top of the other. They got separated before they got in the wall. C.J. Greaves running a 358 TRD development Toyota motor on a 5-speed gearbox. He's one of the only guys that runs as a stick shift.
McCachran trying to find his way around in that 21. He's trying to cut to the bottom of that Traxxas car.
Chad Horn worked his way up to the front, and Matt Cook already started to limp on the outside. I think he hit hard on those doubles on the back straightaway.
There goes that Traxxas truck now trying to find its way through the field. Gaining some ground. He's got the 47 machine of Jenkins. Here comes Mike. Closing in.
Again on the top side. That's really working out really well for the guys that run up there. I think my guy next to me here might be looking at that.
I'm watching everything. I'm sorry, folks. I should be giving a little more color, but I'm starting to take some notes.
Watch the body pieces come flying off of Matt Cook's truck.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what it was, but then shortly thereafter, Matt just started to limp around.
Yeah, he's dropped to 11th.
Right now, C.J. Greaves out in front. We're watching Rob McCachran, who's back in 4th position. 2nd place is Chad Horn. 3rd place is Bryce Minzy, but a little bit back is Rob Mack.
Rob Mack just ran over whatever that debris was. It came off. I don't think it was body work either. I think it was something from the inner part of the truck.
McCachran's got his Ram running strong right now as he tries to climb up through the field. He's up into 4th.
Jeff Kincaid has worked his way from last up to 6th place and running very, very strong. A lot of the people might be wondering, why are these guys slowing down so much for the jumps? Well, what's happening is because of the rain, and they saw Mike Jenkins on the sidelines.
Yep.
It's either headed the right way or the wrong way, though.
He's off the course, so we're going to stay green. He's far enough out of the racing groove.
You know, I said C.J. was running, C.J. Greaves was running a 358. I think I'm wrong there. In the Pro 2, I think he runs a 400 engine in there.
That's C.J. right there in that monster truck. Catching up, he's got the, what is that, the 5 just in front of him. That's Mark Kwame on the outside in the black truck.
Kwame just getting roughed up a little bit back there.
There goes the 9, Chad Hort, running in second place.
A great race developing.
Trouble on the 4 there. Left front corner, knocked off the 4.
Bryce Menzies running in third in the number 1. That's the Red Bull rig.
That was Jeff Kincaid that we talked about earlier in the show that had the left front corner knocked off it. I didn't see what happened to it, but it looks like he's done.
Boy, Greaves running great. Here's a replay. Let's see what happened here. Oh, man.
They just ran right into each other and broke.
Yeah, and look at the left front corner on Kincaid.
Oberg in the 80, the black truck.
Oberg broke with nowhere to go. He was not trying to put Jeff up into the wall, but that's what happened.
There's Oberg in the 80. The Amsoil back truck is done. CJ Greaves, however, is running strong. 7 laps in the books. We had a ways to go here at Eldora. Come on back with us.
Standing by Jarrett Johnson, and Jarrett, we're sorry to see you out. You never really got to have any fun here this weekend. How frustrating has this been for you?
Oh man, it's been brutal. We got this truck like 3 weeks ago, mounted the motor in it, prepped the whole thing and got it going. And I don't know what caught on fire in there. I don't know what the deal is. So it's just a bummer. You know, we didn't get to test it. We didn't get to practice because of the weather. So, but we're looking forward to the season. You know, we're putting together this program, starting from scratch. So we'll come back.
All right, well, we're sorry to see you out. We'll see you at the next one.
That's racing.
That it is, a Jimmy Johnson Foundation backed machine done for the night.
And you know, that's where you get rained out of your practices, you get rained out of your qualifying. That would have happened earlier. It's an easy fix, I guarantee you, and he would have been able to race. But being on the first time on the racetrack and something like that happens, now the whole weekend's shot.
We'll see him at Park River. He'll be ready to go there.
It's a tough way, man. Those guys spend a lot of money to get here. They tow across the country. It's a rough deal not to be able to race and then to put up with the weather we've had to deal with.
Boy, how about Greaves? Here's Menzies. Menzies now up into second in his Red Bull.
Reigning champion. I mean, that guy has been on fire. Like Ricky Johnson, a teammate there. I don't know that you need to tell him much of anything. He's very natural. Oh, but he's in trouble.
Man.
Woo, he was good to catch that one.
Back-to-back championships in 2011 and 2012 for Bryce Menzies here in the Pro two-wheel drive class.
Just got the timing off on that jump and almost landed it dead sideways. That was a good double jump. You see how nice that landed?
Cleared it smooth.
And a lot of speed because of that. This is what Ricky was talking about. Gets on the throttle early. This is the bad one. That one was a great save, though. He had enough counter steer in it to land it right.
And the big Ford powered through it, kept on digging. Chad Hort running in third in the number 9.
Nissan body on this truck, but Roush Yates engine under the hood, which you can do in Pro 2 and Pro 4. You don't have to run the same engine that the body is. You can engines are open.
And the Bob Snowplow folks helping out with the stickers on the side. Getting ready for that competition caution. Remember, this one's scheduled for 30. So we should be seeing that competition caution. There are the yellow and red.
It's an interesting way of putting these trucks together. I mean, your engine's open, so you can run 440, 450, 60 cubic inches, make 1,000 horsepower. But can you use it on a two-wheel drive truck? I mean, that's the whole deal. How much can you put down to the ground? Much less in the mud.
Well, we heard Ricky talking about going through driving schools with the great Bill Cooper, one of the better driving instructors around the country.
Raced with Bill many times.
Yeah. Teaching about driving like you got an egg under there, right?
Well, with this kind of horsepower, it's it. I mean, I remember some students that say, when do you floor it? When do you get to floor it? Well, maybe they don't floor it here. You know, you might never be able to use 100% throttle here without having wheel spin going with it. So it's an exercise in really feeling the truck underneath you and reacting, you know, quickly to it.
Going back to what we said earlier tonight, which is the fact that those drivers that have the most experience in their truck are probably going to adapt quicker tonight because they're going to know what that truck is going to do.
Yeah, you become one with the truck. I mean, you're wearing the thing.
Bobby, how are things down there in the mud?
It's muddy, Ralph, and it's cold, but here's Jeff Kincaid still with a smile on his face after being knocked out of this race. What happened, Jeff?
Yeah, you know, with Mother Nature raining and stuff, and I got all the jumps pretty soft. I got into the back of a guy. I thought he was going to clear the jump, but he checked up pretty hard, and it's kind of my fault. I got in the back of him, and I should have just stayed a little more clear of him, and I knew it was time to go to the front and start working our way with, you know, the way it goes, but can't say enough for Traxxas, Maxxis tires and stuff to put me out here on the track and do what we do. It's just unfortunate those things happen, but we'll be back.
Yes, he will. So just like Jarrett Johnson, we'll see Mr. Kincaid once again at the next one.
Yep, that's Bark River, and of course they'll still celebrate Keegan Kincaid's win.
Absolutely.
From earlier tonight.
His son with a big win, first win, and that's going to be what is going to take precedence on this weekend, not the fact that he broke.
How do you think how the track has held up tonight, Dorsey?
I'm impressed. I'll be honest with you. When we first got here, I thought we weren't going to race at all. Then I thought if we did race, it would be just nothing but a mess, and it has held up, and these guys have put on a good show, no doubt about it.
We were all checking flights.
Yeah,
trying to figure out when we were going home. Section will keep the original booking.
Yeah, I don't have that pleasure of the airplane. I got that 12-hour drive today or tomorrow. Doesn't make any difference.
Ricky Johnson, if you haven't heard from him in a little while, it's because he left. He's getting ready for the Red Bull Pro 4 race coming up as we go back to green.
CJ with a good start.
Ooh, watch out for that wall.
But I'll tell you what, you better watch out for Bryce Menzies, too, because he's set sights right now. Reigning champion, knows how to get around to any racetrack, even though this is the first time at Eldora.
And McCachran's lurking back there in that number 21. There he is.
Yeah.
Here's Menzies.
Never count out Rob Mack, and Rob Mack will do this sometimes. He'll sit back on the first half of the race, wait for that competition caution, and then come and go to work.
Watch these guys get up near that wall, then you come charging down off the mountain here at Eldora.
I mean, the high line's working really good, but here's the downside of that. When you come off of the banking, if you're on the high line, you hit the highest point of the jump, too, which puts you in the air for a longer period of time.
Boy, Menzies up there in Steve Kinzer territory, for those of you that have been here watching sprint cars in the past. Right up along the wall.
I bet you anything when we see our buddy Ricky Johnson in the next race, he'll be right up on that wall, too, because he sat here and took note of where all those trucks that were going fast were, and that's right here up on that wall.
Working the cushion up there, they would say. There's McCachran. Keep an eye on the blue Traxxas 21.
Rob Mack, the most driven man, if you will, he's driving sometimes in one weekend. He'll do an off-road desert race, come over here and do one of these races. I mean, he's got a huge schedule this year.
And he's having a lot of fun. Talking with him in the pits earlier today, smiling, can't keep his schedule straight, but he knows he's winning a lot of races.
And you know the difference between him doing this and when I used to run a lot? This stuff beats you up.
Yeah.
I mean, you really take a physical beating doing this, and for him to do that as many races as he does, it's pretty amazing.
Speaking of beating yourself up, the truck that Greaves is driving is taking a pounding as well. Bodywork flying all over the place. Menzies looks pretty well put together still. He can see Greaves just in front of him. And it's the battle of the energy drink companies here in the closing stages of this one. Monster leading out in front of Red Bull at Eldora. Still slinging the mud on the high banks here at Eldora. CJ Greaves out in front at the Off-Road Championship here at Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio.
You take a look at that truck and understand one thing. He hasn't hit anything.
That's right.
All of that damage is from the mud that's packing up underneath these wheels. I mean, it's blowing the body panels completely off that. And how rough it is here, what they're doing, what they're putting these trucks through.
And we're talking about 4, maybe 500 plus pounds of mud now gathering up underneath that thing.
And 900 horsepower powering it around here. I mean, it's pretty amazing what these trucks go through.
But look at Menzies' truck, Dorsey.
That looks really
looks
good.
Great.
Yeah, especially that double he just did right there. And he's really pushing hard trying to get up and catch back up. Oh,
man, he is giving it everything he's got. Watch how hard he's charging. Look at this.
Little over-rotation. That's going to over-rotate him over the top of the jump.
Just hanging off the edge of the cliff.
Of course, that cost him time being that aggressive that time, but that double jump he took was perfect. This is a nice one. Yeah, he's got hammered down right now. He's going to try to make a run. See if he can cut into the deficit right now up to CJ.
Of course, Menzies a winner of the first race, the season opener there at Dodge City. Took a second in the second race. 6 wins in 2012 on the way to his second, and back-to-back titles.
It was just a little bit off CJ's lap time, but remember, he did that over rotation, too, which cost him time, so that wasn't definitely his best lap. But you can tell by the way he's driving, the aggression's at full tilt.
McCachran winning the other race there at Dodge City. McCachran running in fourth. Greaves trying to get his first of 2013 in this class.
Track's starting to get a little grip to it now. You see the new line that Menzies is running. He's dropped down to the bottom trying to get some run around there, go the shorter distance. But he's hitting those jumps at funny angles. Not always straight on when he gets there. And that's because he's on that low groove.
4 laps remaining. I love seeing these things come off sideways off the 4.
They take a beat, and I'll tell you, with that 18 to 20 inch suspension travel, they can land sideways like that, and instead of flipping like you would think the thing would, that suspension just cushions it all up, and off they go.
And of course the tires help you a little bit with that suspension
That
too.
time he got in the wall.
Yeah, you're way up to the wall there. That's the 25 of Mark Jenkins.
Mark got up there and left the racetrack over a jump, and in the right rear quarter tagged the wall. He's lucky he didn't really get into a bad situation there.
All right, so Greaves has some traffic to deal with here, including the 2 of Steve Barlow just in front of him.
I don't know what that was that fell off, but it didn't look right. That Toyota is doing a really good job on jumps too. You see how compliant it is when it lands? That's what's amazing with all that, with the shock packages they have on these trucks and that huge suspension travel. You know, it just sits down after the bumps.
Now Greaves has caught the back of the 5 of Mark Kwame. CJ, of course, 2 win. Oh, and Jenkins is done.
Now,
with just a couple laps to go.
This is the truck that we saw get up into the wall a moment ago. A lot of smoke out of the right front up there. Don't really know. It looks more like steam.
White flag is out. Greaves with an 11th in the first race at Dodge City and a 3rd in the second one. Had 2 wins in 2012. On his way to his first one here in 2013.
That could be a blown engine. There's a lot of steam pushing out of the bottom of the well pan area.
Mark crawls out. He seems to be okay. We come back to the winner here. Coming off the final 2 corners. 1 more jump to go. CJ Greaves takes the checkered flag and the win in the Amsoil Pro 2 division. Menzies gave it everything he had, and the Red Bull driver is going to come up in second, and McCachran hustled that Traxxas rig all the way to a 3rd.
Never count him out. Rob Mack really got the job done late in the race. Like I say, he works that second half of the race pretty well.
1 more race in the books here at Eldora. We'll come back and talk to our winner, CJ Greaves, right after this. Stay with us. We're under the lights. And a muddy night under the lights here at Eldora. But inside all that mud is a big smile for CJ Greaves.
Well, guys, we saw CJ take the Pro Light win last time here at the Torc race at Dodge City. Now here in Eldora, you've taken the first place in the Pro 2 race. What a muddy mess that was out there. But you took the lead early and you held on.
Yeah, you know, this Monster Toyota Maxxis truck has been on fire. I mean, I don't know what better truck I could ask for. These guys did an awesome job. I mean, obviously we had some rain and some mud, and I was out there in the Pro Light. It didn't go our way. We came back out here, the track's a little wore off. It went our way, but couldn't do it without all my team, Monster Toyota Maxxis, I mean, Mastercraft, Oakley, Method Wheels, Amsoil, everyone, all the fans, all you guys, thank you.
Well, guys, he doesn't seem too muddy staying out front there for the majority of the race. I'll go back to you in the booth.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it, Kelly? And he got an Oakley time bomb for quickest lap there with a 24.621.
That was, I mean, that truck was hooked up the whole way. CJ Greaves wins it. Bryce Menzies gave it a really good run there at the end. Rob Mack, like you were talking about, really did a good job. Started kind of in the middle of the pack and worked his way slowly toward the front. He is a hot man driving right now.
Hate to see a tough night for Mike Jenkins, Matt Cook, and especially Jared Johnson. They're just trying to get that truck going, but he'll come back at Bark River. And we'll go back downstairs. Here's Bobby Gerald.
And Bryce Menzies brings it home in second. We meet again, Bryce. 1 more spot is what you're looking for. But how'd this one go for you, and how is the racetrack as we head for Pro 4?
You know, we came into Eldora, you know, just looking for another win. That's what we're going to do all season long, is just go for wins. And we didn't get a practice, we didn't get a qualify, so we didn't know what to do on gear, and we were just way short. We were running out of gear the whole way around the track. But, you know, we had fun. We had a lot of fun, a lot of lap traffic. I almost crashed on the very last jump coming into the finish, but you know, we'll take a second. Congrats to CJ. We're the points leader now over Rob, so we're looking forward to Bark River. We do really good there, and you know, I just got to give it up to my boy Luke for winning the Pro Buggy class and this great attire they found in Eldora for the last 2 days, you know, shopping around and having some fun with it. So I just got to thank everybody involved, Red Bull, BFG, KMC Wheels, Peak, everybody at home that's watching. Thank you guys.
And as we throw it over to Kelly, maybe we can get a look at Luke's get up here. Can you show Luke here, my man Kevin? Look at these get ups. He got the angel flights going. I mean, he's got, you know, he got the gold chain, the vest. All my man's missing is some famolaris and a part down the middle of his hair. Wow. Kelly?
Well, thanks, guys. Standing by with Rob McCackern. Rob, coming off of a stadium truck race in San Diego, you were really hurt, and you didn't think you were going to be able to let your body heal before coming to this race, but obviously you're here, you made it, and you finished third. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. You know, I get to race a lot, and I really appreciate that. You know, everybody with Traxxas, Mike Jenkins, BF Goodrich Tires, Fox Shocks, you know, all the guys work so hard on this truck, and, you know, I'm happy to be here. Eldora is awesome. We had, some bad weather. You know, we had a lot of rain going on. We didn't really get to get our truck set up, and my gearing was just too low, and I had to pedal that truck all the way around. We were just trying to ride it out, and, you know, thankfully put this thing up on the box. We got third. We didn't lose too many points to Bryce, and we're happy to be here. The truck performed, obviously, and I'm ready to do it again. I want to get the right gearing in that truck and see what we got then.
Well, the Pro 2 helps and gives you a little bit of experience going into the Pro 4 race. Good luck and congratulations. Booth?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of guys are going to be thinking is, gosh, I wish I could go do it again, because now I know what to do, not only on the track, but to my truck.
And gearing could be a big issue in the race coming up next, too.
We'll find out. Red Bull Pro 4, they're getting ready to go. The big dogs making their way out onto the big track. It's at Eldora. Down to the final race of the night. It's the Eldora Off-Road Extreme, and we're down to the last run, the Red Bull Pro 4 division.
This is what they all wait for. The big boys, the big dogs are off the porch, four-wheel drive, custom built, over 900 horsepower, 4,000-pound ground pounders. This weekend it'll be mudslingers.
That they will be. And Ricky Johnson, who was doing some TV booth work with us earlier, saw his son Luke win the buggy division, and now RJ is going to take his crack at the Pro 4s.
Winner from Dodge City, Johnny Greaves. His Toyota, again, like I said, this is one runs a 358 cubic inch TRD with a 5-speed.
Well, he had a wild one at Dodge City, didn't he?
Yeah, and you know what? He used that 5-speed to his advantage to win the race. And the way he did it was by this, over-rotating, putting a block on the whole field, then grabbing first gear and leaving him in the dust.
Got the win there. His son CJ got a win earlier tonight. Now we'll see what he can do. And Scott Douglas in the Amsoil number 7, the 4.
Scott Douglas had a very exciting finish of that race. As you watch right here, Adrian Cheney comes and T-bones him, does the once-over, catches a gear, and continues on for a great finish.
Well, here's Adrian Cheney. There he is in the bright orange machine. He's got that 4-wheel parts Ford running here. Now, last weekend he was competing in San Diego, and things got a little wild there with P.J. Jones.
Comes up from behind and gives him the sucker shove. Then it's on.
Well, and I'll tell you, P.J. being the son of Parnelli, he's got quite a bit of fight in him.
Well, it's surprising from Adrian Cheney, too, because he put 3 guys on their lid at the last race in 2 days, and I'm talking about Dodge City. So watch this guy. He's a wild man.
P.J.'s a big guy, too.
Yeah, P.J.'s no slouch either. But again.
Right. Well, we're going to have fireworks here as well at Eldora. Here's your Red Bull Pro 4 starting grid. Remember, no practice, no qualifying, so we invert the top 6 based on points.
Mark Jenkins on the pole there. We'll have a good go of it.
This one is going to go 30 laps here tonight. Of course, we're going to have that competition caution halfway through, and we do not count the caution flag laps.
Watch Ricky Johnson back there, number 1 truck in the 2nd row. He sat up here with us for 2 races. Any bets he won't go to the top for turn 1?
He's going to ride the rim here at Eldora. You can be sure of that. 1 more lap to go behind the Nissan Pace truck.
So I'm checking the grip too. Ricky was getting on the brake and then throttled at the same time, seeing how much rear grip he has.
Bobby, how's Eldora coming around?
You know what, guys, if you remember back to before we had the rain, there was actually a little bit of dust that was kicked up, and then the rain came, and then it got really soupy and sloppy. But actually, as dirt tracks go, it's starting to come in a little bit. It's pull your shoes off sticky over in turn number 1 right now. So these guys ought to be able to get the horsepower to the ground anywhere where there's not a jump. And I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be really exciting. And what a great facility. I mean, Earl Baltus passing the torch over to Tony Stewart. You think about all the things they've done here at Eldora Speedway with the first 50,000 to win sprint car race, the first 100,000 to win sprint car race, the first $1 million to win or $1 million purse race. And now, for the first time, we're going to see the Pro 4s of the Torc Series get it on this half mile. Ralph Shaheen's ready to give it a call as they roll into turn number 3 and get ready for the green.
And the Pro 4, of course, is 4-wheel drive, and that's going to help these guys really be fast. Those front wheels will be driving, too.
And we're happy to say the 92-year-old Earl of Eldora is here tonight. Glad to have Earl Baltus in the house here at Earl's Joint. I'm sure Tony Stewart's looking forward to the update and how things went as we get ready to drop the green. Racing in Eldora. Jackson. Everybody looking for a way to go. On the high side, it's McCachran in the blue Traxxas machine.
Rob Mack's been out there. Jenkins got stuck down
Jackson,
low.
what'd you say to me?
We also know that the upper lane is the one that's been coming in, that upper groove, really working well.
Rick Johnson moves his Red Bull truck right up into second place. Coming along with him is the Amsoil number 7 of Scott Douglas. Those three battling for the lead early on here at Eldora.
Boy, they were hook-nosed to tail right there as Douglas jumped right behind Ricky Johnson. I think they were hooked up as they went off that jump.
Skying over the backstretch, jumps into turn 3. Door to door, go Douglas on the high side and Johnson on the bottom.
And watch him jump off these things with 4-wheel drive. They can really get some air.
Douglas now up into second place. He's got that Amsoil truck looking good. He's got that middle lane working solid, and Johnson's got all kinds of company here. Greaves in that 22. Johnny's going by in the monster rig, and the 25 of Mark Jenkins has passed him as well.
With the 4-wheel drive, you come off that jump. As soon as you hit the ground, you go full throttle. A big flip. Up into the fence.
Goes Jenkins in the 25.
Oh, he gets hit. He gets tagged there by the 5.
Yep, that's Kwame in the 5, and Mark adding a little bit of insult to it.
Mark's first time.
Wow, did Jenkins go flying in the 25.
That's Mark Kwame's first time in a Pro 4. He crashes again on the infield, front suspension damage, but that was a rough hit. You see Jenkins is trying to refire the engine. He's got the thing started over there. Or either that or he's got a fire starter over. It's got a fire starter over there. Off the rear end, it looks like it probably, when it flipped, it probably dumped oil out of the top of the vent tube.
These trucks incredibly well built.
Look to me, I just caught that out of the corner of my eye, like he tripped up off a jump.
Well, and you got to remember too, Dorsey, that when you crash something into the catch fencing here, normally it's a 1,300-pound sprint car.
Not a 4,000-pound 4-wheel drive beast.
And look at how the catch fencing held. You can see it bent the poles back, but still, it did a remarkable job of holding on. Watch this. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. It even bent the light pole there. Watch the red 25.
Red truck in front. Just hits that jump wrong and hooks it, and then gets airborne, backs in, and just collects that fence. Actually, that dissipated a lot of energy as far as Mark Jenkins inside the truck goes. Tore a lot of fence up. But the truck in front of him was really off that jump bad too.
Wow. That, you know what,
wild
Dorsey,
ride,
I have seen a lot of races here at Eldora and a lot of incredible crashes, but not many like this one.
Watch this in real time, how fast this happens. 4,000 pounds of energy, and then he gets clipped here, like you said, no damage, more done.
She rode along on that right front wheel and just about came back down to earth. Instead, Bobby, it went sky high into that catch fence.
Well, I'm glad to see Mark out of his truck here, and when we can have a chance to talk to him. What happened, Mark, and are you all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. You know, hate talking to you guys under these circumstances. The Traxxas machine is starting to find some traction there. You know, just night vision with tear-offs that made a driver error. Dropped the inside left front tire on the inside of the jump coming on the front straightaway. We had her full throttle to the floor, so when you only have 3 tires jumping over it, all cockeyed like that, she went straight to the wall.
And then,
no chance to save.
And then you got clobbered, probably a deal where he didn't have vision as well?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I saw him just fine. Had my hands on the steering wheel and said, okay, well, we'll just put our head back in the seat and enjoy the ride.
I'm glad you can smile about it, man. And wow, how bad's the damage to this truck? Is it a write-off?
I feel horrible for the Jenkins Brothers Racing crew. The guys worked so incredibly hard, and they deserve more than this. I'm disgusted with myself tonight. I got to own up to that one.
Glad to see you're all right.
Well, I tell you, that fence, it really did a good job of what it was supposed to do, keeping that 4,000-pound truck. Take a look at it here, just wrapped itself into the fence. Clear the wall by quite a bit, by the way.
Dorsey, there are probably, there's at least 3 bars that hold the fencing together that are bent back into towards the grandstand area, and a light pole. I'd say it's probably 25 yards worth of fencing that has been damaged. There you see it.
And that could be our demise, too.
Could be. Not sure. The officials are down there talking things over with the safety crew and the Torc officials, USAC officials, everybody down there. One of the wildest rides we've seen in a long time. We'll be back to Eldora. Races from such series as DTM, FIA GT1, Australian V8s, and the Ferrari Challenge. Go to speed2.com for more info. Well, they're still working on the catch fencing here on the front straightaway coming off of turn number 4. Now, they have bent the 3 catch fence poles back to as straight as they possibly can, and the 1 light pole, that one right there, that tall brown one, which is actually a speaker stand, I guess. They've bent that back. Here's why they're having to fix that. Watch the 25 of Mark Jenkins violently flipping into the catch fence.
And Mark described that wreck to us perfectly. As he dropped that left front wheel coming over the top of the jump, it dug in. And, you know, isn't it funny when it doesn't look like these trucks are going that fast until something goes wrong? And then you see the full amount of energy that one of these trucks can unleash.
And the full amount of weight, because, again, remember, as we've talked about, Dorsey, I've seen a lot of cars get into the catch fencing here, but they're usually 1,300-pound sprint cars. Bobby Gerald, you and I were chatting about this. I don't ever remember seeing a dirt late model get into the catch fence like that here, though.
That was a sight to see. It was spectacular, and I'm just glad that nobody was injured in that incident. We're down here in the pits right now with Mark Kwame, who caught the tail end of that deal. Mark, what did it look like from your perspective there? He's got someone talking. He's got one of his spotters talking to him as we're talking to him. What did it look like from your perspective?
Well, first of all, is Mark okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was coming around turn 4 there, and there's really nothing I could do. He was just sitting there. I went on the brakes the best I could. I tried to turn in a little bit, and it was all I could do. I didn't know what to do. That's what it was. I'm glad to hear he's okay, though.
So you hit him, and then you also clobbered a part of the inside fence there. Is your truck all right?
Well, they say that my right skid plate is bad, but I have pretty decent steering. They took off the hood because they thought the hood was going to flap up in front of me. So everything right now looks okay.
And then just to follow up, I know this is a big weekend for you. You're from nearby Columbus and have a big contingent of people here this weekend. How's all that going?
Oh, it's been going great. I mean, unfortunately, we got yesterday canceled, but the track is in excellent condition. It's a ton of fun, and the guys did a fantastic job getting it ready.
All right, Mark Kwame is okay, and he will be ready to roll if and when we get ready to roll. And it looks like if and when is right now.
Well, yeah, I think so, Bobby. They are considering this still a yellow flag situation, not red. They're telling us 1 to go, this time by 27 laps remaining. It fortunately looked like there were no fans dealing with anything after that happened. They have set up a bunch of caution tape and are putting all the fans back way up from where that section of grandstand is. So they're going to push the fans way, way up underneath the booth here where we are.
Yeah.
In the grandstands. There's a cover here in Eldora.
You can see just as well from up underneath here at this racetrack.
Better actually to the back straightaway if you're a little higher. Wow, what a night here.
It's always wild. I mean, this Torc Off-Road Truck Series puts on a show, let me tell you. And I got hats off to these guys for working so hard to make this show happen, because we didn't think it was going to happen by any means. And they put the racetrack together, these guys with the trucks. They're putting on a show, no practice, no laps run. You know, did a good job.
Without question, Roger Slack and his crew here at Eldora, and Jason Smith and Kevin Miller and the gang from USAC that are the officials for the Traxxas Torc Off-Road Series. Everybody has been just giving it their all to put this show on here tonight. And it's crazy because they're going to come back racing here next week with a UMP Series event. So they're going to yank, they're going to yank the dirt off of the dirt. And then you have to fix this catch fence and everything, get it all ready to go racing here next weekend.
A ton of work. I mean, the fans don't realize how much goes into running one of these. You know.
Yeah, and the World of Outlaws were here just a weekend before, so it's been a crazy, crazy week around here at Eldora getting this thing ready to go. And then the weather certainly didn't help at all. But the fans that are here are certainly getting a show.
Yeah, they always do. I mean, this is some first one of these I ever went to in Chicagoland. I didn't know what to expect, and I came away with smiles, no doubt about it.
Bobby, how's the cement doing here at Eldora?
Well, there's one section that is still very pristine, and that's this new area of cement that's been laid down for the upcoming NASCAR National event. First time since 1970 that a NASCAR National event will run on dirt. They're going to have the truck series here, and so they had to put in a new extra section here in the pits, and it looks like we're ready to go green, so we're done filling time and we get to go back to racing, Ralphie.
Yeah, that'll be the Mud Summer Night Dream later this year as we go back to green with the Traxxas Torc Series as we go off into one with McCaffrey in the lead.
Oh, and here comes Johnny Greaves to the inside, gets around Scott Douglas, trying to take over second place.
McCaffrey in blue, Douglas in white, Greaves in the monster rig.
And it was Douglas who was sideways in front of that wreck that almost had the crash too.
Ricky Johnson working the high side behind them in the Red Bull #1. Here we go, completing that lap.
Ricky Johnson, our reigning champion, hasn't had that good a year. Broke a steering gear at the last race at Dodge City. He needs some points.
Johnson and Greaves, the winners at the season opening rounds at Dodge City. Trying to see if they can add to it here tonight.
And here comes Greaves working the inside. We know that outside gets better bite off, but he does have that stick shift transmission, a 5-speed. He can use that lower gear.
Great nose to tail racing. Here comes Douglas, working the bottom on McCaffrey.
Look at that. Douglas with a second place last time out after being flipped. Almost flipped himself and has the lead.
And Greaves goes blasting past McCaffrey as well as he comes charging down off the hill in turn 1 and 2.
Don't know if something wrong with Rob Mack's truck. Whatever happened, drop back.
Don't forget, vision could be an issue too. We're hearing about those guys going through the tear-offs like there's no tomorrow here. Greaves now hunting him down in that number 22 monster machine.
Scott Douglas came alive. I mean, unbelievable. After that halfway mark, he almost had that flip before the crash.
Greaves in the Toyota up top, stalking the Amsoil machine of Douglas. Douglas running his Ford.
Greaves trying to put pressure on, trying to make Scott Douglas make a mistake on one of these jumps. Land sideways, get out of control. And look at him right now, both of them double jumping.
Belching the flames out from below. Up along the wall goes Greaves. Here he comes, charging down off the mountain.
Should have some momentum on that upper run. A little sideways off his jump.
McCaffrey is dropped back to 4th. Early leader after we got restarted.
Don't know what
Something
happened.
done right there.
Yeah, something with Rob Mack's truck went off just a little bit. These two were having a war.
Greaves trying to use that momentum on the high side. Closing in. Here he comes.
Good run off the top. Oh, he smacks the wall. Gets
Gets off the jump a little bit too far off to the outside, hits the wall.
Took all the momentum away from Greaves' monster machine. He's got to find it again.
Now, did he bend the suspension? I mean, and lands sideways there.
Meanwhile, here comes Ricky Johnson. RJ closing in. Is another one.
Blocking the wall
Goes
on
into
the top
wall,
side.
coming over turn 3.
Here's a replay right here. Johnny Greaves to the outside, lands with the wheels in the air, couldn't steer in time.
Yellow flag is out. Yellow is out for the 5 of Kwame, who talked about the fact he had suspension issues with the steering.
Yeah, he was the one in the wreck before that got into the park truck or the wreck truck of Mark Jenkins and then backed into the inside wall. Suspension failure, I'm going to guess, caused this one. I'm not sure of that, but
Kwame with the popcorn Sutton, Tennessee white whiskey back number 5.
Easy for you to say.
You got to get that in there. Absolutely. You kidding me? I'm not going to let that one slide by. Here's Russ Hook right here, making his first Pro 4 race. Russ Hook right now running in 8th. He's going to actually move up to 7th.
You know, looking at this rear roll bar behind the 10 there, I can tell this is a Johnny Greaves truck. What he does is he takes this rear roll bar and he makes it hooped. So if you do a lawn dart and you start to roll, it rolls you the rest of the way over so you get back to your wheels. One of the innovations the Greaves guys came up with, you might see it here when he goes by. If you look at the rear end hoop, instead of going straight down at an angle, he actually rounds it off so that the roll continues.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, and it's one of those things somebody was thinking. You see it right here, just behind the 10. It just makes it look, just roll you back to your wheels again.
Toyota body number 10.
That's a 1-year-old Johnny Greaves truck. We know that the trucks are good. That was something new that they brought out last year, that rear roll hoop. And it is a hoop now, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's Kwame getting pulled down off the racetrack.
About to run over that toe strap, which is not going to be good when he does. I don't see suspension damage, but we know it wrecked twice.
Yeah, and he was saying he was having trouble steering that thing, Bobby.
Yeah, I believe we got a right rear flat on Scott Douglas. That's what the report we're hearing right now. So these guys are laid out behind us with the right rear to try to get him, and they're going to move us out of the way.
That's our leader.
Oh, yeah. We're standing right in the way. So we're expecting some action here on pit road. Your leader, Scott Douglas.
Headed your way, Bobby, right now. There he is, Bobby.
Here is Douglas rolling to a stop. If that right rear's flat, it's not super flat. It's just a little bit low right now. They have the spare in place. Yeah, it was definitely low enough that they were going to have to make a change. So getting on it right now. It might have a hole in the, yeah, they got a big old hole. Okay, guys, that thing's a lot flatter than I thought it was. When it came in, it was still up a little bit, but now we see, obviously, that there is a huge hole in that tire. They had no choice but to make the change. It's going to cost him the lead. They're getting the spare on right now, still trying to get it precisely dialed on there, but I'm pretty sure that in this situation, they're going to give him a moment to make this change and get him back out there into the fight. So looks like Scott Douglas is going to be able to rejoin the field, but he's going to have to do so at the rear.
Kind of wonder what happened there. A big gash in the whole side of that sidewall. You can see it. So while we were under that caution or right up in that area, he got into something.
Boy, Douglas was looking great. He had about a half a second lead on Greaves. He had his hands full with him.
This changes the whole game.
Yeah, he'll tag the back end of the field.
Gives Johnny Greaves the lead.
Yeah, and Greaves now will deal with RJ because Ricky Johnson was looking pretty good too.
And don't count Rob Mack out. We don't know what happened with Rob McCackren's truck, who was leading earlier, but he's going to be back in contention. If he's got anything to fight with is a question.
There's Ricky Johnson, the Red Bull #1.
Needs a good finish, really does. Had a bad first outing. Like I said, the shaft on the power, these use electric motors to run the hydraulics on the power steering, and the electric armature broke on the pump.
There's McCackren in the 21. Rob in a ram-bodied #21 Traxxas machine. And there's a 47 of Mike Jenkins.
Brother Jenkins. I'm sure he was on the radio to make sure his brother was okay too after a scary wreck.
Another Ram truck. Mike running in 5th. Here we go back to Greaves. Boy, Greaves with a good start.
And you can hear that 9,200 RPM Toyota V8 screaming as it gets that start. Ricky
Look
Johnson.
at pull away, too, as it comes off of turn number 2.
RJ's got a 400 cubic inch. He's got more horsepower, but he weighs a little bit more than CJ. Or than Johnny, I should say. Johnny, with that smaller displacement, weighs less.
Now we still have the competition caution coming. Greaves almost puts it over.
Landed on that left front hard, but these trucks can take that. They've got that 20 inches of suspension travel and a big shock package under there.
Johnson slowly reeling him in.
Little understeer in Johnson's truck. You can see that he's got the front tires a little bit left. That's, again, it's four-wheel drive, full-time four-wheel drive, so adding power will pull it through.
He's on him now. Rick Johnson is right there.
And these guys don't always play fair. I don't want to say play fair, but they've had moments together, let me tell you.
And they've got a competition caution coming. How's this going to play out? Should be just a couple of laps from now as body panels continue to fly away.
This all started back at Charlotte in 2011 when they had a absolutely heck of a race. We landed on top of each other, got in each other, and then after the race, it got to get ugly. And they've had some bad feelings, and you're not shy about telling you about it. They don't necessarily like one another all that much.
Well, they're going to test that water here again. Everybody wants to be the first one to win at Eldora. Names like Foyt and Andretti and Stewart and Gordon. Now, which one of these guys is going to join that history book?
Johnny Greaves won last time out, and RJ wants to win his first of the year, I guarantee you that. Two-time defending champion of this series.
What a way to kick off your year with a victory if you can do it.
Oh, and he's trying to work the inside here. That caution should be coming out next lap, but he wants that lead before he gets there.
Full course caution, Adrian Cheney. Now they can count this as the full course competition caution if they decide to. My guess is they will.
Yeah,
yes.
they will, because it was going to be on this lap. And he went to fire on the right side of Cheney's car.
He's got to get out of that truck. Oh, man.
Oh, man, big wreck. Multi-turnover.
Wow, we were busy watching the battle for the lead. Miss Cheney flipping up and over.
Yeah, Cheney's truck landed sideways, and he's trying to drive on, believe it or not.
Cheney trying to get that Ford to roll forward. Four-wheel parts rig going on the hook instead. We're going to break. We don't want to miss the finish of this one.
John.
Well, we tore up some stuff here tonight at the Eldora Off-Road Extreme as well. That'll probably make a crash glitch somewhere down the road. And the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is going to be coming here to Eldora. The Mud Summer Night Dream, they're calling it, Wednesday, July 24th. It's going to be a wild one. Of course, you'll see it here on Speed. Going to be a lot of fun watching that. Now, Cheney still trying to be extricated off the speedway. Here's what happened to him.
Wild ride. It's already started coming off that jump, and you see multiple rollovers. Then lands on all of its wheels. He tries starting it and had a fire off the right side somewhere. And when they finally got to him to tow him, the front wheels will no longer turn. So they're looking for a wrecker to lift the front, I believe.
We've tore up buggies, trucks, crash fence.
Yep.
We've done a number on this place tonight.
They tried to tow it this way before. We can see from the front tires and the mud around it.
Oh,
they're going to get it with a front loader. That's one way. Usually it's headed for the trash can when you do that.
Yeah. Bobby, what's going on where you are?
I'm just standing here looking off in the distance at the big truck that they're bringing out here for Adrian Cheney. It's unbelievable. It's just been one of those nights here at Eldora Speedway. It's like whatever could go wrong did go wrong, but we're making it through the night, and whenever
They got
they
it
get
back.
Adrian Cheney off the racetrack.
They've got it backwards. It's the front tires that won't
We'll be able
turn,
to talk.
not the rears. I'll call my buddy PJ up and see if he's watching this.
Yeah, he's laughing wherever he is.
They actually got that backwards. The front tires are the ones that won't roll. The rear wheels were rolling. So, I mean, this is kind of fun for watching only. Like I say, I've only used that front loader for a dumpster approach.
You got one like that?
I've had one like that.
Really, that big?
If you use that,
that's
then
serious equipment right there.
That's not quite that big. You're right. Well, now they got it out of harm's way anyway.
Just leave them right there.
Just leave them there. Tow truck would have been a lot easier. I don't think they realize the rears will roll.
1 to go. And you know, somebody else who's creeped back up into this is Scott Douglas. Douglas with that new right rear is back up to 5th. And there you can see him. He's that white truck, 5 back.
Ricky Johnson trying to hound Johnny Greaves. Like I say, they have some animosity for one another. So he's back there flooring the truck and making a lot of noise.
That's Douglas right there.
Don't count him out. I'm not sure. He had a lot of speed for that flat tire, that low puncture.
Well, and here's the other reason why. Because of the feelings between Greaves and Johnson, you never know how this is going to go as we wind this thing down, which means that McCachran, Jenkins, and Douglas are all in a good position to capitalize on the anger that might be unleashed in front of them.
And all really good drivers with good equipment, too.
Johnny Greaves was 4th in the first race at Dodge City, won the second one. Rick Johnson won the first one, 7th in the second one.
Johnny will try to slow everything down, go real slow so he can get that first gear launched. The other guys are in automatic, so there's been a little bit of slip. Johnny does this. Watch. See, he'll try to stop the field, play the advantage to him. He'll rev this engine at 9,200 revs. Listen to this start.
Screaming like a banshee will be that number 22. Here it comes.
Got him where he wants him, nice and slow.
And Rick Johnson comes right with him, trying to get to the inside.
RJ timed that start perfectly, and it was a little bit of a slow shift rate. Johnny Greaves' first to second wasn't clean.
Greaves drifting wide. Johnson not able to capitalize yet, and McCachran hounding from 3rd. Jenkins and Douglas have slipped back. Greaves got a little bit nose high off that jump.
Cost him a little bit of time, too, because he can't get on the throttle until you're back on the ground.
Here comes Ricky. Ricky trying to work that bottom groove.
Look how much better the top groove gets you off the corner, though.
Yeah, Greaves is making it work beautifully. 3rd in the points in 2012 with 3 wins. Greaves trying to get his 2nd of the year here tonight.
Another bad time jump. I don't think Johnny Greaves has really got the timing on that back straightaway between those jumps. I don't know if he's trying to do a double jump, not catching it right, or...
Johnson now trying the high side.
And the high side is going to bring him speed, no doubt.
Maybe that's where that high horsepower would take advantage for him.
He's got the ponies, no doubt about it. If he can put that power down, like you said, there's an egg underneath that throttle. He's got to not wheel spin. He's got to get that power down. Now, the four-wheel drive truck puts down a lot more power than the two-wheel drive.
Rick Johnson in the Red Bull #1 with 9 wins in 14 races a year ago. Looking for win #2 here tonight at 2013.
Once again, though, I like what Johnny Greaves does. When Johnny Greaves gets in the lead, he uses that truck to do what it does best. He takes away the good fast lane, makes the other guy go the other slower way around.
A dozen laps remaining. Coming up to 11 to go.
One slow truck out there was Ross Hook.
Johnson again, trying to carry that momentum. Where's the contact going to be? Right there, you saw it.
But that gives that outside lane to Johnny Greaves, and that really gives you a good launch.
And it also allows McCachran to reel them in. Here comes Rob in that blue Traxxas #21.
Yeah, for Ricky Johnson, that's the one thing he didn't need was that extra truck in the Rob map.
McCachran goes to 2nd now, and Douglas creeping into the fray.
Now Now Ricky Johnson takes second, and Douglas is going to work on third place, which happens to be Rod McCackren right now.
Douglas had 2 wins last year. He'd like one here tonight. Battling with McCackren in the blue 21. They fight over third.
These guys both drive very clean, Rod McCackren and Douglas. They won't get into each other intentionally. Not saying it won't happen.
Douglas second in the points last year. He takes third away from McCackren.
They need not do too much fighting for third and try to work their way back up to that battle for the lead. Only got 9 laps to go. Dead sideways there.
Great slide through 3 and 4. And here comes Johnson. And Greaves cuts him short.
Yep, slam the door on him right there. Needs to find a way to get on the outside of Greaves. A little over rotation if Greaves could or hang that nose in the air like that.
Well, right now he keeps shutting the door, and with about 7.5 laps to go, Johnson's okay with that. Pretty soon he's going to try to kick that door open.
Oh, he will. He's going to do it right here. Did a crossover on him, worked the outside, now comes down the inside. He's setting him up. He's sitting back there right now looking at his options, trying to figure out where can I do this. I'm not going to say he'd hit him intentionally because there's been some black flags, some point assessments. Adrian Cheney's got one of those right now. Cheney.
There it is.
Oh, they
Couldn't
didn't
get it done.
No, and you know what? He didn't hit him either. Ricky could have got in the side of him, but he let it go. He let it go.
I'll tell you what, the way they came off that jump, coming off the 4, was exactly the way Jenkins did, was send him in to the catch fence. They got to watch how aggressive they get coming to the checkers here.
That was a moment of discretion right there for Ricky Johnson. I mean, he could have very simply got into the side.
Watch the touch here as they come down off the hill.
That's a pretty good slam there.
And then look how sideways they go off that jump. That's just about where Jenkins was.
That'll trip you up. I mean, you land that sideways. We already saw what could happen.
Setting up for a tremendous finish here at Eldora. The Eldora Off-Road Extreme with 5 to go.
Well, Johnny Greaves has made it clear. If you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it the hard way around. I'm not giving you the good lane.
Johnny Greaves
could do it right here. Over rotation right there for Johnny Greaves. Here comes RJ, and he's going to get it
through. He's got the lead. We've got a new leader here at Eldora, and Greaves tries to battle back.
But he backed off out of respect, too. He could have also paid back right there by hitting him.
I'll race you how you race me,
That's
right?
exactly right. They both played a hand right there. Johnny Greaves made a mistake, and he made the mistake that needed to happen.
Greaves is going to have 3 more laps. Luke Johnson won earlier today in the buggies. Here's how his dad took the lead.
Over rotates right there on the landing. Nothing he could do. He had to save the truck, but that gave an opening for RJ. RJ comes down the inside with the power, and I thought right here it could go bad, but watch this. Johnny Greaves, just a brush. I mean, he could have turned him right there.
Big trucks, big horsepower, but a small mistake made the difference.
And that's what he was trying. That's, you know, Ricky was putting the pressure on. We got white flag on the next time around. Right now, Ricky's got the momentum. He's up on the top.
He's got a 1-second lead. He can't afford to make a mistake. Greaves runs in second. Douglas is third. McCackren is fourth. Mike Jenkins is in fifth as we come to the white flag.
And I said it would be the first win for RJ. That's not really true. It'll be the first win on television. That makes more important. He won one of the races at Dodge City.
The first time in the history of this storied dirt track, Eldora, the high-banked half-mile, Off-Road Trucks Cup. The Traxxas Torc Off-Road Series invades Eldora, and here comes Rick Johnson. The checkered flags for the Eldora Off-Road Extreme go to Rick Johnson.
Boy, what a good job he did. Just kept that pressure on Johnny Greaves, forced the error, if you will, and capitalized. Good racing.
And what a night for the Johnson family. Luke Johnson wins the buggies, and Pops just claimed the checkers in the Pro 4. We'll be right back from Victory Lane. Come on out of the truck, Ricky. Kelly's ready to chat with you.
Well, guys, one very excited Pro 4 winner here today. We saw it last time in Dodge City. Father-son Johnny Greaves and CJ. Now we have Ricky Johnson and Luke Johnson finishing on the top of the box here in Eldora. What a great race this has been for you.
Well, I think it was. You know, I have to say, I was driving like it was the first part of the race. Charlie just kept in my ear, but I got to say, BFG, the tires came in awesome as the race went on. So congratulations to BF Goodrich. This is a big reason that I got this bomb. I want to thank Oakley for that. But Red Bull, KMC, awesome night.
Well, congratulations to Ricky Johnson. Let's head over to Bobby.
And here is Johnny Greaves. You lost radio communication. How did that affect what you were doing there behind the wheel?
You know, I didn't know where he was running. The lines were really important, you know, but either way, you know, the Monster Energy, Toyota, Maxxis truck, Method Wheels, the new MagnaFlow sponsor, everybody did their job. We struggled through this, you know, tough weather, and here we are on the podium, maintaining the points lead.
Congratulations, there it is, first and second from down here. Ralph, it's a muddy mess, but we are done down here, and it was a successful night.
And yes, it was, Bobby. And that Oakley time bomb goes to Ricky Johnson in Pro 4, 23.674 for his quick lap.
Well, a wild one here at Eldora. Would you expect anything else? But, man, I mean, the weather got thrown at us. Wrecks, everything, good racing. I'm glad we came. I hope we come back.
And I'm glad everybody's okay with that catch fence coming down the way it did. It has been a tremendous night. Sure hope you enjoyed it with us here at the Eldora Off-Road Extreme. For Dorsey Schrader and Bobby Gerald and Kelly Snyder, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Thanks for joining us. The next show will be from Bark River International Raceway in Michigan. So long from the Eldora Off-Road Extreme. Congratulations, RJ.